Yesterday, I recorded this really great video. This whole table back here, it was just full of all my games. Me and Nat together have over 100 physical games now. So we wanted to celebrate. We wanted to show off some of the collection and talk about some of it. And then at the end, we had no audio. One of my mics malfunctioned, and so I've managed to fix that problem now, but we lost the entire video. The good news is it gave me a chance to kind of think, oh, you know what, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna talk to you guys about something that I haven't talked to you about yet that I really should, and that's the direction of the channel. You see, I've talked to you about how I got to where I am, but I haven't talked to you about where the channel is going. And I want to start with the content, because when it comes down to it, you might be wondering what exactly is the content that I have planned, because you've seen a list so far of the 2019 games, you've seen the Dragon Quest Builders list, but is that all we can expect from me? And no, it's not. It's certainly not. What you're going to get from the channel is it's always going to be at least somewhat Nintendo focused content. There may be sprinkles of other content in there every now and then, but for the most part, it's just going to be pretty much just Nintendo focused entertainment. That entertainment starts with people getting to know me and liking my personality and who I am. And that's something that I've always really struggled with my content, is squeezing my personality into something that's also worth watching. So for instance, with the Dragon Quest Builders video, that's something that's definitely worth watching, but I don't feel like I had enough of me in there. Of course, it's hard to not overscale and do it the other way where there's so much of me in there that it just turns new people away, because people are there in the first place for the content. They're sticking around for you. And so it's a careful balance to get them both really working really well together, but I'm still trying to work on the personality side of myself. And that's something that just grows with time naturally. Obviously, you just get better and better at this. If you saw a video of me or even like heard me when I first started doing this type of stuff, it is just horrendous.
Playing Paper Mario Color Splash is like eating a good vegetarian pizza when you've been having a great Supreme pizza for the past 15 years. Sure, it's still a good pizza, and some people may prefer it, but it's missing something. Some of the things you enjoy the most. The meat.
But I've gotten a lot better, and I'm going to continue to get better over time. You don't just slip out of the womb and all of a sudden you can talk like a 60-year-old man. That was the stupidest thing I've ever said. It takes time to build up that charisma, it takes time to build up that energy, and it takes time to build up an entertainment value, which I'm getting there, but it's going to take time for me to get even better from where I am now. A little bit deeper on the shape of the content, which is very important, is that, as I said, at the moment it's list, but there's going to be so much different type of stuff that I'm going to try tackling. It's just, that's what I was comfortable with. That's what I've done in the past. And so leading in with our first couple of videos, I decided to do a couple of things that I'm very comfortable doing. But in the future, you're going to see me go in different directions, and just as long as it's Nintendo focused entertainment. Schedule is what I want to talk about next, because this is something that's really important about how often I'm uploading and what I'm uploading. So as it stands at the moment, my plan is for daily content. So every day at 8 o'clock my time, I don't know, whatever it is your time, I might put something up on screen, you know to expect a video. Now, does that mean that every day you can expect one? Well, sometimes things are going to happen. Just like yesterday where I did that big recording and then my audio failed and I had nothing for the next day. And so I'm trying to rush this up and it's coming up late, so things do happen. But for the most part, I want to try get on that schedule. The reason behind that is because YouTube loves you doing daily content. That's reason number one. But there's a second reason behind that, and two, that's because an audience can attach to someone that they can kind of tune into every day. And then the third reason is that is the type of content that I like producing. I'm not a big fan of doing the weekly or monthly or whatever, putting something big and really theatrical together, because I just never done anything or tackled anything like that before. And I run my life on a schedule. I very much have a schedule that I've always been a part of. And that's because, as you guys who work would know all about this, that your life is a schedule. You get up at a certain time on your work mornings, you go to work, and everything is done to that schedule. Now for myself, it means that I get up at 6 o'clock every morning, I have one alarm, and I get up to that alarm no matter what. There's nothing that stops me from getting up to that alarm. After I go for that, I go for a run, I have my breakfast, and I go sit down in my room. I've already planned out the content the previous day, or thought about the content that I'm going to be producing the previous day, so that when I'm sitting down in the room, I am not just sitting there procrastinating, I am thinking and I'm working. Thinking, that is procrastinating. I'm working. That schedule just helps me structure my life, and helps me also, just to put this out there, treat it as a job, because that is like technically what this is to me now. I am working to do this to make a living. I'm not making anything yet, but one day I will be making a living off of doing this, which means that I need to structure my life like it's a job. All right, we're getting way too deep in the treads there. So the last thing that I want to mention here is that at the end of January, after all the structure I've been talking about, I have to actually go back to work for 2 weeks, which is really unfortunate. I will still be producing videos. It just means that I'm going to get home at 5 o'clock at night and then work on a video to night time. So it might not be at that time every morning. There might be 2 days between or something like that between these videos. Basically, I gave our boss 3 to 4 weeks notice, which I didn't even have to do technically, but he needs to get a new apprentice started at the start of the year, and he really needs a hand to do that. So I said, listen, I can give you that 2 weeks, but that's all I can give you as a bit of a favor to him, just because I feel bad that I'm leaving him. Plan. This is really important. How do I actually plan on building the channel? Now, as I mentioned already, the frequent content, that's number one, keeping content frequent. As I mentioned, YouTube loves that. I love that, you love that. It works out great for everyone. The next is what you've probably already seen going around, that's the thumbnails. The thumbnails, I like to try keep fun as well as clickable. So I'm still working on trying to get a balance between them, but they're really important to having people find my content in the first place. The more I'm saying this, the more I'm realizing that this is probably stuff that you guys don't care about, but we're gonna go through it anyway. Chasing the trends. Now this is a really big one for me, and that is because I'm such a small channel at the moment that I can't just do anything. If I just go do a review on, I don't know, the N64 game Yoshi's Story, no one is going to find my content, no matter how good that review is, because there's no one out there to push it or find it in the first place. Yeah, if I spend 2 minutes talking about that Soldier Boy train wreck, you know, that's guaranteed that at least some sort of bleed is gonna come onto my channel as long as it's a decent video. Listen to your audience. For me, I really have to listen to people who are commenting. That doesn't mean just going down there and listening to any old troll who's saying whatever down in the comments, but the people who enjoy your content, the people who subscribe, and the people who want to see you grow are going to leave you helpful feedback. And so when they do, it's important that I'm reading every single one of those comments and listening to them and taking them on board. This little underknown fact here is that I actually have Nat, who helps me a lot in the background, not as far as the actual work goes, she's not editing, she's not doing anything like that, but as far as my thought process goes, having someone else to throw your thoughts at and bounce them back at you is unbelievably helpful. And when you have an audience behind you doing a similar kind of process, it's, again, unbelievably helpful. Last thing here, yes, I have a Patreon. I do not push it at the moment simply because I use it as a tip jar for people who want to support my content and see me produce more of it. But I'm so early on that it's wrong of me to say, hey, go support me on Patreon for the 3 videos that I've done. Obviously there's gonna be more videos coming, but I just like to mention that it's there for anyone who does think that's worth it. Just like Jamie did. Thank you so much, Jamie, my one Patreon at the moment. Really appreciate it. I'm just really happy at the moment with what I'm doing. I know I've only done a few videos, which like, yeah, Eric, you've done a few videos, how are you so happy already? But when I put it this way, it puts it into perspective for myself. I encourage you to think about the same thing here. But if you were sitting at home with all the money in the world, would you be happy because you have all the money in the world? Or would you be happy because you don't have to work anymore? If the answer is that it's because you don't want to do your 9 to 5 anymore, then that shows what the 9 to 5 means to you. But for myself, coming in here and doing this, if I had all the money in the world, I'd still be doing it. This is where I would be. I'll leave you with that. Thank you for watching, and remember, for great Nintendo entertainment, you can count on me. So I was just doing the editing to this video and I had a couple more Patreons sign up. So I felt really bad that I didn't give them a shout out in the video. So Mel, Drew, and Jamie as well, obviously. Thank you to all you guys for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I like doing these little bonus extras at the end, so thanks.